Hello and welcome to our podcast, the Digicast. Yes, I forgot to turn on the audio. Thank you. Always nice to have someone who catches you up on that, because otherwise we would go through the whole hour and I wouldn't notice. So yes, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about webcam events. So that's our topic. Digimon recently announced their webcam events in December 12th and 13th, if you are allowed, which I'm going to go over in a minute. And Dragon Ball already had some events on the webcams organized, and I'm here with Tommy, who played in few of those events. If you want to say hi.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Yes, I unmuted you as well. I made sure. For people who are live with us, the Dragon Ball final events was yesterday. And if you're watching on YouTube, it was on 17th of October, which is going to be probably over a week since you're watching this. Which we're sorry about, but our editor is on holidays. That's why Scott is not with us. That's why there's only two of us here. Uh, so yes, we're going to be talking. First, we're going to go through the announcement that Digimon made, and then we're going to talk about how it went. If I'm going to turn on the right one, there we go. So on Digimon Card Game English version, which is their official Facebook on Facebook official Facebook page. If you're not following yet, please make sure to follow. All the news about the English version of Digimon Card Game is posted there, so that's your best place to find all the info. So, announcement of Digimon Online Webcam Tournament event. That's a mouthful. To celebrate the launch of Digimon Card Game, we are excited to announce the exciting online webcam tournament event that will take place on 12th and 13th December around the globe. They do need a proofreader for this. Excited to announce an exciting event. Is it me, or is it that they just keep on saying the same thing? Players will need to register their interest in advance for a chance to play in this event. A small registration fee is payable to cover shipping and handling of prize packs to the Premier TO host of each event. If you are selected to play, you won't want to miss these events. If you are selected to play, which means that in this situation you're supposed to sign up, and then the Premier TO is going to choose if you are playing. That just sounds weird to me.
It's kind of like an invitational, but you're just picking names out of a hat.
Yeah, kinda, because it also says that you need to register your interest in advance, but not that you need to register yourself for the event in advance. So it's not first come, first served. It looks like it's not first come, first served, like for Dragon Ball, but it will be essentially the Premier TO is going to choose it. Each participant will receive 2 memory gauges, storage box. Top 16 will receive more promo packs, and the champion will receive sleeves and a card case, which are minor prizes. But yeah, this is the event, and we had similar events, better worded than this for Dragon Ball. And how did that go? So, Tommy, if you want to take it off from here, because you were the one who actually played in all of them. I only casted one of them. Oh,
I played in the Sunday of the first event that was cast by Card Market. I played in, I think it was one about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. That was won by Starter Vegito, and then I played in the Invitational yesterday. Um, of these events, definitely it's not the same as an IRL event. You're not gonna like if you're turning up to these events going, "Oh, I can't wait to be like back in the scene again." It's not the same, but given the world circumstances, everything we've got, this is as close as we can get. And if it's as close as we can get, and I can actually play my cards, I'll take it.
yeah,
Because
that's definitely something that pushes the sale of product. Especially, this tournament is going to be before the official release of the game. It's like between sneak peek and official release. That's essentially when the tournament is being run. So it's a good push to have people buy the cards, especially more and more places. Like UK right now can't run any events anywhere,
yeah,
because majority of the country is tier 2, so we can't have people inside. We can't have people mixing inside, which is annoying, but I mean, safety first, right?
You-
Uh,
You've just
yeah.
sorry, you've just with the state of the country as it is, and I know a lot of the other countries are in the same position as well. Running all of these events, if they have to be run on webcam and stuff like that, then it's unfortunately the best we're going to get. Releasing it before the start of the games officially, because I know product drops, I believe, in mid-November,
End of
um,
November. It's
end of
end of
November, and then
November,
it's
yeah. So people will have around 2 weeks to get their decks, and then they get to play.
yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, it's going to push sales through the roof if people are desperate for this event. Which, at least for the English release of Digimon, is going to be really, really good.
The
Um,
sales are already pushed through the roof to the point that they needed to increase the capacity that pre-sale events are allowed to buy, because initially it was, I think, 36 boxes, and now they upped it to 120, so 10 cases. And a lot of stores actually
Ow.
went for 10 cases. I know my local game store just went for 10 cases because that's how popular the game is. People are just going to LGSs and going like, I want a case. And we have 10 people like that, and then there's some online sales for single boxes, and then 120 boxes are gone. You don't even
yeah.
have enough to run events.
I mean, the big problem that's going to cause is that getting cards. Say you're going to, we know it's going to be a relatively undefined format because the card game, at least in this side of the pond, is relatively new. We know it's been out, and I believe they're getting set two. Is it set two's been
Set
released for
3.
Japan?
Set 3 is released in
Set three.
Japan at the end of this month.
So they're already two sets ahead of us. Now, if depending how invested people are in the game,
But so you don't play Digimon, you wouldn't know. The set that we are getting is actually a mix of the first 3 sets.
okay, right, that makes sense.
So first 2 sets, set 1.0 and 1.5, are the total of them are going to be equal to the first 3 sets in JP.
Okay,
So by February we will have 3 sets, and I think in March is the 5th set for Japan coming out.
yeah,
So we
because
will slowly be catching up to them.
yeah, the concern that we had would be the same as product releases for Dragon Ball as it was in the
Yeah.
in the States as it was to here, where we were always at least 1 to 2 sets behind. And if we end up with that formula again, you're going to end up with some decks that are going to be very, very expensive, which means that tournament play is going to be highly expensive to get into.
I mean, everyone already expects Omnimon to be expensive. Let's be honest. It's the best card. It's a card from set 1, and it's the best card since set 1. There is no other way around that. This is the best card in the whole game.
It's like Sensu Bean, but on steroids.
Yeah, because it's a super rare, not a common. It's not a £10 common, it's a £30 SR.
Pricey.
I mean, that's what we expect, right? We don't know because we don't know the secret rare tamers will be sought after as well for the flex. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
I think you mean the box stoppers, because the Japan had 5 different box stoppers. We have 10 different box stoppers for the tamers, and you get 1 per box, which are just alternative art of the cards that are already in the set. But yeah, they will be sought after. Especially, I think 8 of the 10 are playable. So you
Yeah,
will want the blink because they have a nice background, nice foiling and things like that. So they are a nice version of a rare tamers.
that sort of thing's going to be really good for collectors as well. Especially if you
Yes.
get them and you keep them in good condition, they're going to be worth a ton in the long run.
Yes.
Especially if the tamers continue to get support.
I mean, tamers are necessary to play the game, especially a lot of tamers just make sure that you have something to play with so your opponent can't choke you on memory.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. But yeah, the events for Dragon Ball have been mostly run as best of 1, right?
Yes, they were all best of 1 until the Invitational, which was best of 3. Sorry, camera's having a meltdown. They were all best of 1, and then the Invitational was best of 3, but we had an extra 15, no, it was an extra 20 minutes. So best of 1 was 40 minutes, and then best of 3 was an hour. Now, for normal events in person, 1 hour is usually plenty more than enough time. We normally get either an hour or like an hour 10, something in that sort of time.
Yeah.
But when you're playing behind a webcam, you've got far more things going on. So you've got to be looking at the screen, making sure your webcam's okay, looking at the screen, making sure your opponent is okay, looking at their webcam, making sure the webcam's good enough quality so you can see all the cards on the board. I know mine's not been great. I've had like my leader's not been totally in focus. I had trouble with writing so that my cards were glossed, like glared off the sleeves.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that normally wouldn't come up in a tournament, but it adds the time. So at least in my opinion, and I know this is going to be highly controversial, I prefer best of one for webcam events. It it skews the format. It makes aggro the best deck of the format, which it was even in the best of three.
Yeah, that's
But
what I wanted to say. In best of three, it would be the same, right? Because you're losing time on those small things. You're losing time on setting up the game. It's harder for you to read your opponent's cards. You actually would need to go and Google them either on your phone or
yeah,
something like that. So, and majority of people are people who prefer to read the card rather than, hear someone say what the card does. It's better for you to find the card, but then you don't know. The card names in Dragon Ball are ridiculous, let's be honest, and sometimes finding
yeah.
a card can be
I mean,
difficult at
I
times.
played the Cataplegia chain with Soul Striker in the event that I got my invite to top eight, invite to the invitational event. I have at least two of my opponents have to Google what the whole Kato chain does,
Yeah,
because I could sit there and explain it, but those cards are a mouthful, and it literally meant that I was there for extended time, just going, okay, pay one, top seven, pay one, evolve,
yeah.
pass, and it
Uh,
took far longer than it needed to.
Whi- which is why I kind of agree that at least what I want to say is that best of three, 1 hour for best of three is not enough.
No, absolutely not.
It would, this is not enough of an increase over time. Like 40 minutes is very generous for best of one in IRL version, which normally ends up in half an hour, unless you have very grindy like Heart Mirror match or something like that,
Yeah,
right? Like you have two very grindy decks that are playing against each other, and that's when you need the full 40 minutes. In camera, in the webcam events, we have seen that the games, even two aggro decks, can go on for a while because we have seen Gohan Reboot Mirror match that was going on for a good half an hour just because it was
yeah,
a webcam event, because it took a while to communicate with your opponent. And it's just more difficult because, someone might have worse internet and they're not heard as well as clearly in a
yeah.
conversation. It's it's something that's definitely going to have some impact here. Digimon, as far as we know, does not have sideboarding though, so that would take some time away because you just scoop your cards, shuffle, and play again, right?
Yeah.
But Digimon also does not have a judge program nor official rules. We
That's going to
just
make things complicated.
we just have a play manual and Japanese FAQ.
Ugh.
We have a brilliant translation team. Shout out to Jason Snowjacks who translated the Japanese FAQ, which we are using to create the rules. We have unofficial judge program run by Nightmare and Antinomy on the Digimon Discord, but we do not have official resources. There's nothing in terms of official resources. We do not know who would be judging. We don't know how it would be judged. We don't have any tournament guidelines because all the tournaments that were played in Japan have been played on house rules by the stores.
Yeah.
There's no official guidelines. It's like early Dragon Ball. I don't know if you remember that, but there was no guidelines at all. Like
I started just about the release of Set 4, so I wasn't in the game at that point. If
back
you're
then, there was still no guidelines. The proper guidelines showed up a good half a year later, I think.
then when we played at locals, we
Guidelines,
just played by standard rules. That's all I know.
guidelines that were back then in set 4 were one page A4.
For the amount of cards that we had in the game, that's a lot.
That was guidelines for the official tournament play.
Wow.
Then they introduced that huge document that I absolutely loved in Coventry. Because you had like 60 pages and you had everything explained to the dot, which was mostly stolen from another card game, let's be honest. But it worked. It still works as a tournament policy.
Yeah, it gave the judges something to work by, which was the hardest thing because there was
Yeah.
nothing concrete.
Yeah, every judge would be running it differently based on their experience. We would have judges running it based on Magic experience. We would have judges like me running it based off Yu-Gi-Oh experience. And then we had people who read the actual uh, regulations and would play it off that, as it they would, if it was not written in there, that means that it was not allowed.
That
And
just sounds complicated.
we had, like, there's one thing that we keep on seeing is majority of the rule manuals, so not the official rule books, but the manuals that they give you with a starter deck, say roll the dice and whoever wins goes first, right?
Yeah.
But that's not tournament rules, and we have a lot of people arguing that. But believe it or not, we were on Store Championships ages ago, back when there was no official rules, and we were told that we need to roll the dice between every game and the winner needs to go first.
I can see that causing a fair few problems. I mean, it's
Yeah,
another thing with webcam events. You can roll a dice, and I looked at my webcam when I was playing. I could roll a dice, and you couldn't half the time tell what it was. And that this is my webcam being not amazing, but you could roll it, and if you rolled it off the camera and accidentally, oh no, I turn it now, I've got an extra 6. But like,
yeah.
it's small things. I mean, I wouldn't do it, and I never did, because that's deliberate cheating. However, it's something that is entirely possible, and that people are going to hate about webcam events.
Yeah, that's one of the arguments we've heard a lot, is that people can cheat. It's easier to cheat, rather, because people will try
Yeah,
to cheat. Doesn't matter if it's IRL event or if it's an online event, people will try to cheat. Not everyone, of course, but you will have one person out of 300 that will try it. And
yeah.
it happens, right? Uh, it wasn't. I don't think anyone would cheat on the first event because you were not playing for a match. But
Yeah, like,
the moment you started playing for proper prizes, like the finals yesterday,
yeah.
I I think there is more incentive there. Which I
It,
like that the events are happening. I don't like the fact that that's how we're getting our winner cards.
yeah. The big problem is that the whole event was invite only, which meant you had to play in the previous events.
Yeah,
Now, paying to go into the invitational event, that didn't matter because you paid for postage. That's what you were paying for when you paid the £10 entry. And you did get a fair bit of entry stuff for it. But the invitational, the prize cards, the Emperor's Death Beam, then there was a set of Goku Black and a set of the Hatch. They were top 4 and first.
yeah.
Those cards were only available to the 27 players, and that's all there was in the invitational. 27 players that entered. Now, bear in mind that's best of 3, and you've got 60 minutes. The big problem I had was that there was a lot of draws. Going into round 4, we had 3 that were XO, and one of them was paired down. His nearest opponent, score-wise, was 1 win, 2 draws,
Wow.
and that's really not good. When you've got some guy who's on 9 points, and then the nearest guy close to him is on 5. Even if he loses, he
He's
doesn't
going to
change in
be
standings
still.
at all.
Yeah, he's still
He's
going to
still
be
going to be on
higher.
top, and that means that
It's
it's
yeah. I see where is the issue there. It's definitely not something that should be happening.
the big
But
pain in the butt is the time, and
yeah,
that's
they can't
why
make it. They
I
can't
thought
make it longer. But my
no,
problem with that invitational event was that it was not advertised anywhere. It was only
no.
mentioned when the first event was already underway.
Yes, it got mentioned to us by the judge,
Yeah,
saying there was the invitational event
it
going
was
on.
not
It
mentioned anywhere on anything. It was added. I think it was added on Friday or Saturday when that event was happening, to the description of the event that top 8 will be invited.
Yeah, the big problem with an invitational event like that and the huge prizes that they offered at the end,
Yeah,
they weren't going to make the numbers for the invitational. I mean, regardless, they didn't have enough events to make enough players to bring enough events to bring the players in because we only had 27, and at most we only had 32.
yeah,
So even though they ran 4 events, and I believe all those 4 events were 64-player events,
yes.
that's still like 200 players, but only top 32 were eligible to play for those. And some people played over multiple events, so they got multiple chances.
I mean,
But
I don't blame them for multiple chances, right? That's
yeah,
€25 a pop, right? But it's that it was not advertised, that
yeah. I mean
we
that
had a
that
lot of players that decided to not play in those events because it was not worth it anymore. because there was
Yeah,
no prizes. The prizes that they were giving were all right, but they were not as good as when they came out early, right? Because the championship packs right now are
they've
plenty.
dropped in value so hard.
Yeah.
The cooler, which was the most expensive card, I think is now at most about 15 to 17. If I'm correct, which more than likely I am not,
I mean,
he's
I
he was
I, I can easily check that, but
he,
yeah,
he was the
that's the
most
problem with
expensive
this.
card. Yeah, and it was the only way that people could get Championship Pack 2020 version 2 and Event Pack 6. So bear in mind that the long sought after Saiyan Instincts reprint, that we were like, oh yeah, brilliant, we're going to get a reprint of Saiyan Instincts, was only given out in events that were webcam only or exceptionally hard to get to. We're going to have the
It's
same
actually
problem with
13
locals.
euros at the moment.
That's 13, so it's even lower.
Yeah.
And that card started off, it was at 60 or 80 a
50,
pop.
60, yeah.
50, 60. It came out and it was exceptionally high. And
Yeah.
the only way you could get them, for at least for Europe, was these webcam events. There was no other events. I mean, there was play at home kits that were done by Tournament Center, which
That was way later.
unfortunately I didn't get one, but those would have been really, really good because I didn't have any players near me to play with. But the availability of all of these packs was exceptionally limited.
Hi, Mark.
So it's complicated when it comes to sourcing a lot of these tournament cards. I mean, Tournament Pack 11, that's only came out I think last weekend.
Yeah.
And unless you've got a running locals, which luckily I have got a locals in Nottingham that's still running their locals, but we're doing it online.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
I'm actually still able to get Tournament Pack 11, but this is one of the few locals that I know that is actually doing this.
I know my
So
LGS is doing them for play at store or for the purchase support, which is advised for them to do.
which it's don't get me wrong, it's good that they're getting them out there, but it just means that the TP11 supply is going to be really low.
Yeah.
So cards like the one drop red Broly, that is the heart and soul of that deck.
Or
That card, I think,
Brainwashed No More. Or there's a
yeah,
couple of other cards that are really, really good. And that brings me into the next set of events that we're having in November. The finals from that are presenting brand new champion promos.
yeah, the
As
silver foiled cards
But
as
besides
well.
that, the winner card, like we had the Emperor's Death Beam, there's a new
Ah,
set
yeah,
of
it's the Go
those.
Tex, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, like that's going to be
there is a
that card will
new
be worth.
set of those because there is going to be, like you had Goku Black.
Yeah,
There is going to be a brand new set of those as well, which I don't agree
yeah.
with. I don't think they should go on events like this.
I mean, they've got Power Burst, which is the new promo. So
Yes,
the card
there's
mark
three
events
new
they had,
promos supposed to be there.
yeah,
Power
they
Burst, Babidi for the Overseer of Distraction, and we don't know the third
yeah,
one still. Still.
because I know we had in the past events we had Bibbidi, we had Babidi, and we had Master Roshi.
Yes.
Now, two of those were card market stamped, and one of those was Dragon Ball Regional stamped. But we're getting Power Burst, which is a new one. So again, staple card for a lot of black decks right now. That card is
Yeah.
in every single black deck.
With a
And
brand new
they,
artwork, which is nice.
yeah, and this was going to be more sought after because it's not got Roshi on it; it's got Khalifa on it,
Yes.
and that just makes it worth more immediately because everyone looks at it and goes, "Oh, look, waifu tax."
Like, in turn, I'm going to go back to Digimon, which you probably can't see. I can actually be nice. No, I can't be nice. I wanted to
No,
share
I
it
can.
with you, but then that would
I've
screw
got
up
the
my
stream
cameras.
up. It's just on dead silent, so I can see the screen.
Okay. So we have those are the prizes that they were talking about. So for participation, you get the Memory Gate, the War Greymon, and the Metal Garurumon, and you get one
Yeah,
pack of those promo cards, which were the initial promo cards. I think Patamon from that is being played, and that's about that. Those are the
that's
promo cards, but they're the first promo cards. You have that Agumon holding a card. They were the first cards for Digimon that actually came out in Japan before the set and starter decks came out. So we're wondering how we're getting them because the jump promos have been announced as box stoppers, which is amazing. We had a full conversation about that already. Those you get one pack which has all 6 of the cards. Yes, Mark loves the promo pack because that's actually Mark who opened the pack on our channel, and I think it's still to this day the most popular video on our channel at 1.5 thousand views. So, because that was way before it was available anywhere, Mark got it as a additional thing. So here you will get it for participation together with the memory gauges. Memory gauges have been, I think, a tournament prizes or participation at the local tournaments in Japan.
See, something like this, when you're doing webcam events, and I know that this uses, this believes the same as the Chrono Clash system, so you've got your
Yes,
0 to
very
10.
very similar.
This sort of thing, I know they come on the playmats, and you've got them on top of the playmats,
Yeah.
but this sort of thing would be really, really good for the webcam events. Now, the fact that they're getting given out as part of the participation, there's no sort of participation, is it? Is it the top gets it? These, the memory counters.
Back to the announcement. Each participation will receive 2 memory gauges, a storage box, and 1 promo pack volume 0. And top 16 will receive another 3 packs, so top 16 will have 4 copies of each of the promo card. And the winner gets sleeves and the deck box, essentially, a card case. I don't know what that is. I think it's a deck box.
Yeah,
so
it'd be a deck box.
For participation, you get those 2 memory gauges to have both of them, which is really nice because people have their favorite mats that are not Digimon that don't have the memory gauge on them, and they can still use this, which I think is really, really nice.
It's like players with Spellgrounds, things like that. They use them for multiple games. You can have the memory gauges in the corner. But I think a memory gauge like this would be really, really good for webcam events. But sadly, they're being given out as participation because these sorts of things would make it really, really clear on screen. And webcams, they can only show so much. I mean, my webcam, I was playing on essentially 2/3 of my mat. I couldn't have the whole mat on show because my webcam wasn't good enough quality to be able to zoom out far enough and see everything. But these memory gauges are going to make it really, really clear to those because you're going to see exactly where it is. If you mark it by a dice or a coin or anything, you can see exactly where it is and you can play off it quite nicely. And at least for webcam events, it's going to make it really, really clear. But it's a bit of a shame they're being given out as participation.
Why do you think it's a shame that they're being given out as a participation? I think it's a nice touch to people who will be allowed to play, and it's something that's nice for people, but not something that is, it's not the championship packs from Dragon Ball that were huge money, and it was essentially a race who gets there first.
Yeah. My issue with this is just that a lot of these memory gauges, the only ones you're going to have are going to be on like playmats and things like that.
Yeah.
These sorts of things would be really nice on just to have on their own. So even if they just did like these as like a PDF print sheet, so you could print your own off, and you had them for the event, that'd be really, really handy. But
I see what you mean, but they do. I think they do come with some basic starters. Comes with some basic ones.
Yeah. So to make the most of them, you have to play 2 events, which means you have to get the TO pick you twice with how they're playing the events.
Well, you get both of them for participation.
Yeah, but to make the most of it, you have to play in another event with one of these memory gauges.
Oh,
so you only get them
see.
for the participation.
So you actually get
Yeah, to use them afterwards, you have to enter another event and be picked by the TO.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like is that you get picked by the TO. I think that is that's just a very weird wording, but the whole post is done very weird.
Yeah.
So I'm not too convinced what to make out of that.
All you can wait and do on that is see how their wording is and how they actually do the events. I should think it's probably a mistype, and I think it's just going to be open.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the normal registration, first come, first serve. I do regret that from how it looks like, the European one won't get streamed, as the Dragon Ball has not been streamed, even though America and Australia streamed their finals yesterday.
Yeah.
Europe did not.
We don't even have feature matches for the invitational final.
Yes, I don't know what happened there.
It's down on Card Market at the end of the day. They didn't.
It is.
I mean, that was the invitational that I was playing, Cataplegia Soul Striker. That I had the feature match round 4 against Agents of Destruction. Card Market haven't published that anywhere, and I was hoping actually to see it so I could look at my own mistakes and learn from it. But it was never published, and I couldn't find it.
I mean,
so
maybe they're just publishing them at a slow pace.
Entirely possible, but
I know that something got published yesterday or today.
I mean,
Andreas,
this event was from a while ago.
No, not Andreas. Seb's AOD, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to have a look again, but I know that one was a while ago. But that was the first. I think it was the first one they did through Discord. I know they've been using GoToMeetings as their other option to record the feature matches.
Okay.
So Don't ask why they used an alternate app outside of Discord. I couldn't tell you, but they did try it through Discord at the end, and I think at the end they just dropped it because they just chose not to do the feature matches. It's down
It
to them
is.
though.
I mean, it's a bit sad because main reason on running the Premier TO events is to have feature matches to get the game out there to people.
Yeah, same as like the very first one we had. We had you guys on the couch casting over that the two events over the 2 days.
Yeah.
And that was, I believe, one of the first showings of a webcam event for this game in general.
I
So
think so, yeah.
we really pushed that. Card Market went all out to really go for it, and it just slowly dropped off, which kind of sucks because, I mean, again, there was a lot of cool decks in there. I faced Raditz, I faced the start of Vegito. I actually played against the guy that won the event, that one of the previous events. There's so many different decks in there. I know there was a Bulma that made 5th in the Invitational. Like, there's loads of cool decks out there that a ton of them would have been on feature, and in the end, none of them were. And that's kind of a shame because that gives the credit to the players for not just being there, but for being good sports and being creative.
But again, that's because the event didn't had major prizes. If you got
Yeah.
into the event, it doesn't matter what you played because you already got the bulk of what was worth there, right? The participation.
Yeah.
The participation was worth so much more than the entry.
I mean, the participation for the earlier events to get to the Invitational, it didn't matter where you finished at all because the only things you got for the higher seedings was a few extra packs, and then the winner got a boo mat. That was it.
Yeah.
So the boo mat, yeah, would have been worth money, but you only got like
win at the best of one event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you only got like 3 extra packs for getting between 4th and 2nd, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't worth it. You just played for fun. And then when they did introduce this invitational final with, I mean, the Emperor's Death being, God knows how much that's worth. I know the Goku Blacks, a minimum on Card Market was 900 on last checking. Like, it got really, really expensive.
Yeah.
And it just made things so much
Mostly
complicated.
because they're even less available than they were supposed to. There's even less of them. And this is actually the last ones that you will be getting.
Because they're going to change them very soon, aren't they?
There we go.
But Bulma is a defensive tank. That's exactly what Bulma is.
Yeah. She doesn't go boom, she just defends. But yeah, going back onto Digimon, we can definitely expect a best of one tournaments because those are the ones that are being run in Japan even. On their locals, they run a best of one events. Probably because there is no sideboarding. And I have my own opinions about the events. Sadly, I won't be able to run my own webcam event because the weekend I wanted to run my webcam event, the official webcam event is going to be happening. So there we go.
We'll just have to do one another time. Get one slightly later on.
I'll probably just wait until the world goes back to normal, and I will run the IRL event in London, working with Brotherhood.
We really need, when you can, another Dragon Ball event in London.
Yeah, so probably I'm going to run both at the same time, Digimon and Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to solve the streaming yet, because I don't know which one is going to be more popular.
I mean, all you can do is record one, stream the other, and then
yeah,
the others.
That's the plan. That's the plan, but I need to choose which one to stream, right?
Yeah,
because I can only stream one.
Unless you've got another setup, but then I want to be playing, not streaming.
I don't have another channel.
Ah, yeah.
We have only one channel. We can't stream two at the same time.
We'll just stream on Scott's. We're not told him yet, but we'll stream on his as well.
Yes, Scott is going to learn about that when he's going to be watching this.
Yeah, he'll be like, wait, why are you guys saying this? I'm on holiday.
No, Scott is definitely going to be down for that if we're going to be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be the same as me, though. He'll want to be playing.
He's not going to be playing, and he knows he's not playing in our event. Staff can't play in events that their company is organizing. That's my policy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not staff yet. Thank God for that.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Blaine will be playing in our events, and that's something that he doesn't know about yet.
Well, he's going to find out very soon if he's checking in on the stream.
I don't think he's checking it on the stream. But yeah. Yes, Mark, you can play if you want to. You're a mod, but you're not part of our staff. You're just a friend. Sorry to say. Although you are one of the more popular faces on our channel. You know we
Rude.
love you.
Yeah, I definitely think best of one for Digimon. If they give them the 40 minutes like we had in the original
I think 40
events of
minutes is going
Dragon
to be
Ball,
plenty, unless it's going to be a
yeah,
yellow mirror match.
yeah. I mean, unless you get two grindy decks like that, 40 minutes is more than enough. When I
I
was
mean,
playing,
we do know that Shine Greymon is coming out in the first set we're having, so if you get Shine Greymon mirror match, we're going to be there forever. Imagine
I mean,
two hatch decks that keep on healing.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, that's
Although
pretty much how it
you'd,
goes.
you'd get there eventually, but one of them would deck out first.
Yeah, that's the hope.
But yeah, 40 minutes. I mean, at least it depends on their end of timing rules. Whether they
We
do
don't
like an
have
extra
that
10
yet.
minutes. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one to work on then. So judges, they need to sort something out for that one because if you get two slow decks, oh boy, you're going to be there for an hour.
Yeah, I will try to get myself involved as a judge for the Digimon, but seeing my lack of luck of getting as a judge for Dragon Ball, I doubt that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the limited judge program and everything else, like it's
Yeah,
going to be
but
complicated.
it's it's just never mind, never mind. But yeah, I'm excited that something is actually happening for this game. I'm excited that Bandai is showing love for both card games, that they're not ditching either of them. So it's nice
Yeah,
to see. There's lots of exciting things happening. We still have two more spoilers for Dragon Ball coming. Three more spoilers sets for Dragon
yeah,
Ball because
because
we have
there'll
yellow,
be.
black, and then we have the giant rares.
Oh,
Digimon,
yeah, we've already got three colors.
yeah, Digimon. We haven't even started the English spoiler, so I'm excited. I want to see what's in it, and I want to see if I should be thinking about buying some or not.
See,
It's
when the English spoilers do come out, I'm going to get Scott to keep me updated on what's actually going on because I do intend to learn and play the game. It's just I looked at all the cards and I went, they're all in Japanese. This isn't going to help me. And then I looked at a
uh,
rulebook and went, this is in Japanese. This isn't going to help me.
uh,
So
Octagon has cards in English. There is a deck building site, digimoncard.dev, which has all cards in English. So yeah, the
we'll get
actual
there.
cards are in Japanese, but the ways to play
Yeah,
online are in English.
yes, they have been translated already.
Yeah. And if you
Well,
want to know what to play, it's the blue good stuff. That's
that
essentially what you play.
that
Blue stuff,
sounds about
Omnimon
right.
on top, and you sorted. Our last tournament, we had 20 players. The top two decks, the first two places were a blue Omnimon decks.
There's a nice mirror match at the end then.
Yeah,
New, bring the spice.
yes. Yeah, technically top three, but Cooper was playing Mega Zoo. By the way, Cooper's deck profile is going to be on our channel, or actually, if you're watching it on YouTube, it already is on our channel. Check it out. It's an amazing deck. It was really fun to watch it play, and it's a shame if he got only third place, but it is still amazing. I was trying to get Cooper for this, but sadly he was asleep because he's in States.
Time zones are definitely a thing.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
suck.
that's the beauty of Digimon. You can always play spies, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to go competitive, I think at the moment it's the blue Omnimon has the most stability until Lord Ragnamon comes out, which is search.deck.
So its consistency is king. This sounds like a good deck.
Yeah, it's the first deck that has so much consistency. You have so many ways to build it that it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm looking into Imperial Dramon Paladin mode, if that's going to be a thing. Because Paladin mode is my favorite Digimon of all times, and Mastermon. Definitely going to build Mastermon burn. Uh,
Although we're still waiting on these well, it's not quite the giveaway. It's the milestones for subscribers on Twitch and on YouTube.
yes, we are. That was Angewoman and Rosemon, right?
Yes.
And sadly, we are getting very close to the Rosemon one, and I'm
Well, you've got to start preparing, didn't you?
yeah, I need to. So for people who don't know, if we're going to hit 100 subscribers on Twitch, I'm going to cosplay as Anger Woman, and if we're going to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm going to cosplay as a Rosemon, or rather,
How,
Step on Me Mon.
however, if we make it 15, so 1500, you'll cosplay it at a tournament run by yourself.
Sure, sure. Challenge accepted.
There we go. We've set it in motion now.
Challenge accepted. If we manage to hit 1,500 before our first IRL tournament, I'll do that. I'll be running as a TO on high hills and with a whip in the hand.
That's that. So, do you want to call it the head judge? No, I think I'll pass actually.
In all fairness, I'm usually a TO, not a head judge. I'm not judging my own events anymore.
Mark.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to. Sorry for my Skype. Make sure to check us out on Twitch. We are live every Sunday with a podcast or an event if we are not involved in some other gaming events. So you can find us on twitch.tv/playersguild. And if you're watching it on YouTube, please leave a like and subscribe and let us know what do you think about the webcam events. And we have some inappropriate content on YouTube right now, thanks to Mark, but let's go with it. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you around next time. And yes, subscribe, please. There's a huge request from chat to subscribe to us. So yeah, and if you want to join us on our podcast, we are live 1 p.m. UK time every Sunday. So make sure to join us on twitch.tv/playersguild. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you around next time.